So in lesson 210, so we're kind of getting a feel for what average means and how it is related to the median, mean versus median. The mode's going to come up a little bit here. And I mentioned last class that in my experience, the mode is not usually useful with numerical data. So things like grade point average, or things like how much money you earn, or how tall people are, or average temperature of people, the mode isn't all that important. Mode is better for things that are descriptive things, like you can't do average eye color, but you could talk about the most common eye color. You don't talk about average gender. It's just there's more males or more females. So that's the idea of mode. So here, what we're going to do is just going to play with some different scenarios to play with mostly mean versus median. Mean being the average, add them up, divide by how many, median being the middle number. So I want you to take a minute and read through these scenarios here. So there's 3 employment opportunities, and they describe the amount of money employees make in 3 different ways. One of them describes a mean, another describes a median, and another describes a mode. So take a read through those. Then start thinking about the questions below, and then we'll talk about them together. All right, so here we go. I think the first one's pretty straightforward. In the first one, they say the average of $1,000 per week. So that's the mean. And they give what the weekly mean is for their people. Next one. Company is hiring 1 person this month. Will you be that person? We pay the top % commission and supply you leads. Half of our sales force makes over $3,000 per month. Half. What was that talking about? The median? The median, yeah. Median just tells us here's the point at which half is above and half is below. Right? So this is median. So they're saying the median here is 3,000. Now, there's a slight problem with this one, though. This one says 3,000 per month. This one says 1,000 per week. All right. Do the math. So yeah, do the math. So we got to decide whether we want to talk week or month. The next questions, what do they ask about? Weeks or months or both? Down here, they start asking about monthly salaries. Okay, so we want to start thinking in terms of months. So let's make some more notes. So if the weekly mean is 1,000, then we would estimate the monthly mean to be 4 times that, or 4,000. So let's make a note here that the monthly mean would then be 4 times $1,000, which would be $4,000. And here they give the median for the month as 3,000. All right, next one, blah, blah, blah. 5 of our 9 salespeople closed 4 homes last month. Okay, so they're highlighting those 5 people. 5 closed 4. They closed the same number. That's the mode. Right? Yeah. There's 9 people total. There's 4 other people. It doesn't matter what those 4 other people did because there's only 4 of them versus these 5. Okay, so the mode has to be what those 9 people earned. So this one is telling us that the mode here, let's see, how would we describe this? And then they say their average commission was $1,500 on each sale. 4 sales, 6,000. Yeah, 4 sales, so that would be 6,000. Now, I want to pause there for just a second and think. Is the they're referring to these 5 or all 9? The 5, they're talking about the 5. Probably 5, because that was the main subject in the previous one. Okay. Yeah, all right. So they are in this case is those 5 people. So 5 of them close 4. And we're bragging about it. So the other 4 people, what, 0 and made nothing? And they closed 4 homes. The average for those commissions, and the commission is that you get on selling a single home, right? So that'd be 4 times 1,500. So the mode for those guys is 4 times 1,500, which is going to be 6,000. Now, we don't know about the other 4 people. I guess we'll assume they didn't close any homes, and that's all of the commissions from this company altogether. Because that is a slight deviation. The other 2, basically, they give us enough information like comparing to everybody, compared to everybody, but this isn't quite compared to everybody there. So that last one gave me questions in a couple of different ways. But that's what the information we have is. All right, next we're going to try and answer the questions. I think we answered some of. So we did part A, we identified the measures of central tendency there. And then we want to consider the set of monthly salaries below. Which company, which of those ads up there could these salaries have come from? Well, let's see. They're in order. There's 9 numbers. The middle one is 2,500. So that's definitely not the middle one here, because the median is supposed to be 3,000. All right, so it's not that company.
And it has 9,000 at the top.
Has 9,000 at the top. So to check if it's the first company, we need to add them up and divide by 9 to see if it has an average of 4,000. So check that, add them up, divide by 9. See what you get. It does. Okay, cool.
But if they only make, oh, it says on average 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000 a week, right? Yeah. And let's see, could it possibly be the last company with the mode of 6,000?
Absolutely.
Let's see, are there 5 people there that averaged 6,000? And the answer is, I don't think so. Let's see. 5 people that average 6,000. I guess I need to scribble on that and see. Page. All right, so for sure, the median is 2,500 in that group, so it can't be the middle group. Then, for it to be, so Anthony double checked that if we add all of these up and divide it by 9, we get 4,000, which is the first group in the list. And I wanted to rule out the last group. If it were to be the last group, then their top 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those guys would have to average 6,000. Is that possible? So let's see, if we take 2,000 away from the 8, call that 6,000, and put it over here, so that would be 4,500. And then let's see, the 9, we could take 3 away from that. And then if I redistribute that 3 over here, I could bump that up to 1,000, 5. And then it gives me 2,000 here, which is 4,500. And that's the closest I can get. It doesn't give me an average for those 5 of 6,000. And you might wonder, why was I doing what I was doing? Well, remember, average is the way to redistribute the money so everybody gets the same. So I was just trying to redistribute the commission so everybody got the same commission. And I couldn't get it to even out to 6,000 for those 5 people. So it's not the last group either. Right. And what's that? Well, I'm lacking 5. I'm 500 short here and 1,500 short there to get them all to be 6,000 with the same amount of commissions altogether. Right? So all I'm doing is redistributing their wealth to make them all the same number, which is another way to think about it. Okay, so nope, not the last group. So this is definitely a data set that could be the first.
I just want to say your little marker thing set up is so this is the same with everything.
Isn't this fun? Yeah, so those of you who are on Zoom, Do I have this point in the right way? I have a new thing I stick to the wall so I can actually write on the wall, and this little device here picks up what I'm writing.
Yeah.
So I don't have to sit at the computer the whole time. Makes my job a lot more fun. If anybody wants to come play with it after, you can. It's a blast. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? All right, for the other two advertisements, create a scenario that fits the information provided. Scenario means that you create a list of numbers that works out to what they say. So you've got a list of numbers that is for the outdoor sales group. You need to create a list of numbers that matches the above average sales group and the home sales, the last one. So the second and third one. So I'm gonna let you play around with that. So again, thinking back on this group here, 5 of those people averaged 1,500 on each of 4 homes. So that means 5 people averaged 6,000. So one thing I could just assume is all 5 of them made 6,000 each. Although there could be variation. So what do we call this group again? This is the home sales group. Sure. And I'm going to put them in order. So the top 5, if I give them each 6,000, then that's the average for those 5. Now, they didn't mention anything else, so it's possible all of the other people didn't earn any money. Do I have 5 here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. So that's one possibility. Now, there could be some variation, like some people earned more and some people earned less. So maybe I'll put another possibility is put 6,000 in the middle of those 5. And then if this was 7,000, this would have to be around 5,000. And if I bump that up to say 8,000, this would have to bump down further to like 4,000. So these 5 numbers should average 6,000. And then we don't know anything about the other 4. They could be anything, like maybe somebody averaged 2,000, maybe somebody averaged 1,000, maybe another person averaged 1,000, maybe somebody averaged 500. No idea about the other 4. But this is what I do know on those. It has to be something like that. 5 top earners have to average 6,000. In the other group, again, all we knew is that the median was 3,000 on that group. And who knows what the people above that earned. It could have been $3,001. That's above 3,000. But it could have been something like 4,000, 5,000, 6,700, or any variation of numbers above 3,000. There's a ton of different options. So just one thing to think about with all of this, in the news all the time we hear things about averages. Does knowing the average really tell us a lot about what the numbers were really like? The answer is, it just tells us what the middle is. We have no idea what the spread of the numbers was, given that information. So beware. All right, so those are a couple possible answers for part C. And then based on all the work we just did, which of these jobs do you think you would most likely earn the most money doing? Outdoor sales, above average sales, or home sales? Okay, so that's just your opinion based on the stuff we just played around with. Which one do you think would be the most likely job to earn the most money on average?